All right, here we go. Is this you, Joshua? Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it
How you
going,
doing?
man? All right.
Yeah,
So what's up,
so
man? What's your question?
so the first question I wanted to ask you, I've been reading a lot of my favorite fighter is old guy named Enson Inoue. He has
I
a
follow
book
Ensign on
called
Instagram. Yeah.
yeah, Live as a Man, Die as a Man, Become a Man. That's the one I got. In there he mentioned something about fight IQ. And I've been looking around a lot and trying to figure out specifically what they're talking about. I get fight smart, but how do you improve your fight IQ outside of sparring?
Fight IQ generally comes from a place of experience. You've got a lot of rounds in. You've got a lot of fights in. You've coached a lot of people. You've seen a lot of fights. You kind of have an understanding of an overall outside perspective of fighting. But it also comes from a knowing of why. A lot of people know the hows. They know how to throw the punch. They know how to throw the kicks. They even may be really good at knowing the whens, but not everybody knows the why. And I really believe that the why is the thing that separates the elite guys from a lot of other people. Now, some guys are elite just because they're supreme athletes, and they may be dumb as a box of rocks as far as fight IQ, but it doesn't matter because they're so strong, they're so fast, and they're so good at what they do that they can just shove it down your throat. But guys who can, see what their opponent is doing and create strategies around it, guys who can change strategy mid fight because they notice that something's happening. It could be, a wrestler who's not very good at striking goes into a fight, throws a leg kick, and realizes, hey, this guy doesn't check. And the next thing you know, it's 2.5 minutes and nothing but leg kicks because he was smart enough to understand if they're not defending against something, you just keep doing it. And that comes from knowing the why, and that's part of knowing situations from having either good coaching or just thinking things through. Like I think I had fight IQ, high fight IQ because my dad was an engineer, civil engineer. So like I'm very meticulous about the math of it. Like why does this work? Somebody showed me a technique. It wasn't enough to know the technique and when to use it. I had to understand exactly why. So like I'm breaking down like the mechanics of how the shoulder turns to understand the biomechanics for why a certain submission works. And not everybody does that.
Yeah, I think the biggest guy I see do it now, who still does it a lot, explains the words a lot, is Dominic Cruz.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
Who's the little guy that went from UFC to ONE FC? I always
the
draw a
little
blank.
guy who went from UFC to ONE FC, was it Mason
Johnson,
Johnson?
Mighty
Yeah, DJ.
Mighty Mouse. Yeah, so
DJ.
that's so he's got some fight IQ for sure.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Right.
It's crazy. Last one, I'll let you go like right after this. What do you look for in the difference between a BJJ gym and a MMA gym? Because out
Mhm.
here, I'm in Tokyo. So out here in Tokyo, they got a lot of them all over the place.
A lot of what you're going to look for, first off, whether it's BJJ or amateur, is like BJJ or MMA is like, what are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to do? Is it just a hobby? Are you trying to learn self defense? Are you trying to go through the whole journey of jujitsu and get your black belt and become an instructor? Or are you a middle aged guy who just wants to get a workout in and build some camaraderie and feels it's important to have challenges that push you. It's important to like fight out a mount and fight chokes off because it makes you a stronger person. Really what you're looking for has a lot to do with what you're going to find in those gyms. If you want to be a pro fighter, you're going to need to find a gym that has pro fighters and has a stream of talent that goes into big fights. Because you could have a great coach at a small gym, but it can be very hard to get where you can be seen at a small gym if you don't have other guys around you or nobody knows who your coach is.
Right.
Right. And yeah, the BJJ, same thing. Like depending on what you're trying to do with that, and then the gym itself. When you go to the gyms, you have to meet the instructors and the students, and if you don't get along with those people, you know, you're not going to go. Like it could be the
Yeah.
greatest gym in the world, but if you don't really gel with those people, you don't vibe with them, you don't see eye to eye, you're going to have a hard time going all the time and training. It's not going to be a fun environment for you.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
All right,
All
John.
man.
Thank
I
you.
hope that
Thank
helped.
you.
Thanks for calling
Yeah.
in. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All righty.